The garage door creaks open on its rusted hinges, and dust motes drift through the afternoon sun as the camera pulls back to reveal a cavernous space few have ever laid eyes on. This isn't a typical suburban workshop. This is Moe Howard's personal garage, frozen in time since the final Three Stooges rap party over half a century ago. Tonight, for the first time, we step inside to uncover the artifacts the legendary prankster left behind. The moment the door shoves fully open, the air quivers with history. A solitary workbench stands just beyond the threshold, its battered surface littered with film reels and faded Polaroids. Cobwebs lace a rusted toolbox stamped Howard. Its drawers half open, revealing damp cigar tins and yellowing production notes from stooge shorts like Disorder in the Court and Men in Black. A single slate from the 1936 set of Three Little Pirates leans against a vise, its chalked letters still sharp. Take 3. Moe's grand entrance. The slate's half-smudged date hints at the whirlwind of slapstick chaos that followed. The camera pans up to reveal rows of steel shelving, each cradling an astonishing array of memorabilia. On one shelf sits Moe's battered black derby baller hat, resting atop a stack of his meticulously arranged cue cards, handwritten cue notes that breathe life into every whip, crack, eye poke, and double smash bonk. Next to it, Moe's signature clay sculpted eyebrow mask sits in a tarnished tin, the rubber crease at the bridge painfully real. Fans know Moe as the stern ringmaster of Lunatic Fringe, but here lies the costume piece that taught us the power of a single raised eyebrow. Further inside, we find a collection of custom painted prop hammers and mallets, each tool used to audition the timing of a perfectly timed head tap. Their handles are worn smooth, the metal heads pockmarked with decades of tactile testing. Moe's handwritten notes are scrawled on the walls behind. 6 o'clock swing, softer tap, max. Those cryptic annotations reveal Moe's obsession with precision timing, the secret weapon behind every stooge brawl that left audiences howling with laughter. The lighting shifts, casting long shadows across the concrete floor, where a battered director's chair stands alone. Moe is stenciled in peeling gold paint across the backrest. The seat fabric bears the faint impression of Moe's tweed jacket, button studs and threadbare edges still visible. A single film canister lies by the chair's leg, its label reading Fight Sequence Original Master 1942. Behind it, an old projector reel spool sits tangled in a spool of electrical cord dusted in decades of neglect. The silence is palpable, as if the echoes of Dean Martin's crooning cameo in Hollywood Party still linger. Against the far wall, dozens of framed lobby cards hang in 2 neat rows, poster art from each Stooge feature film. Their colors have faded, but Moe's pun-filled taglines remain legible. Watch out, he's Moe mentally unstable. Three Stooges at the traveling circus. Guaranteed no acts missing. Under each frame, a small plaque glints. Moe's selection? Circa 48. It becomes clear that Moe personally curated this collection, a highlight reel of the hits that cemented his legacy in slapstick royalty. To the left, a cardboard box labeled Props Do Not Discard sits under a shelf of industrial paint cans. Inside, a peacock feather turkey head, a rubber fish, and a feather duster all share space, a testament to the low-budget brilliance that had Moe innovate comedic gold from the humblest materials. The rubber fish, Moe's notorious electric eel, still bears the imprint of his hand, and next to it a scrap of handwritten instruction. Sneak up stage left, wiggle tail, and deliver. The simple instruction reveals the genius of spontaneity that drove every Stooge skit. In the corner, a battered chalkboard displays one last secret, a schedule for Moe's personal training regimen from the 1950s. It reads, 9 a.m. eye poke drills, lancing arms, 10 a.m. slap timing, Harry's mustache, 11 a.m. pie roll, target branch. The absurd details hint at Moe's relentless discipline behind the comedian's carefree facade. Beneath it, chalk smudges recall frequent erasures, evidence that Moe practiced every routine until muscle memory made the madness look effortless. As the camera slowly rotates, capturing every artifact, the garage's pale wood beams groan as if sighing under the weight of history. This is Moe Howard's hidden laboratory of laughter, a place where meticulous planning collided with spontaneous mayhem. And though it's been silent for decades, each object within these walls whispers the untold story of the man who shaped American comedy. What else lies beyond sight? What secret routines, undiscovered scribbles, and private mementos remain hidden in further shadows? Stay tuned. Moe Howard's garage has more surprises yet to be revealed. With the door half ajar behind me, I step deeper into Moe Howard's hidden studio, each footfall stirring decades of settled dust. My flashlight beam scans the far wall, an incongruous push pin map peppered with red threads connecting tiny Polaroid snapshots. I press closer. Each snapshot shows Moe mid-slapstick. In Three Little Sue and Sue's. In Brideless Groom. In his final cameo on It's a Mad, 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 Mad World. The chalk-scrawled legend reads, Stooge Circuit Tour 19 feet 862. The red threads marking the sequence of stops across drive in theaters and vaudeville houses. It's as though Moe plotted out each pie, in the face performance with surgical precision, turning every community stage into a canvas for comedic mayhem. My hand drifts to the adjacent wall where I discover a narrow shelf of identical brown binders, each labeled in pale gold. Script Draft 1, Script Draft 2 through Script Draft 10. As I slide out the first binder, I catch my breath. Inside are yellowed, faintly numbered pages in Moe's precise cursive. This is Moe's private script collection hand-annotated gags he tested only in rehearsal. I flip to page 27 of Draft 4, his margin notes reading, Lav break here, you must glance at Larry before poking Curly. On page 56 of Draft 7, a crossed-out gag replaced by double eyebrow, twitch gag, instant payoff. These manuscripts reveal Moe's tireless pursuit of comedic timing, how he refined each shtick until it struck the crowd at just the right millisecond. From beneath the shelf, I reach down and unearth a battered wooden box sealed with an aged leather strap. Engraved in fading letters is Moe's time capsule, do not open until 2000. My heart pounds as I undo the strap and lift the lid. Inside lies a treasure trove of silver-plated Stooge lapel pin, unused press passes stamped Moe Howard official, and a carefully folded black and white photo of Moe, Larry, and Curly circa 1955, each with a neatly penciled date and location on the back. Beneath the photo are 2 yellowed envelopes. I open the first. It contains Moe's original paychecks, one for disorder in the court, another for Brideless Groom, signed in thick black ink. The amounts, though modest, speak to a man who valued every dollar he earned. The second envelope holds a string of tickets to vaudeville houses from the 1920s, long before Moe ever cracked a camera. I realize he preserved these not for nostalgia, but as reminders of a journey from stage door to screen legend. Eager to see more, I slide out the back row of shelving, revealing a hidden alcove just wide enough for one person. Torchlight gleams on a vintage popcorn cart, that 1930s design with red leather seats and hand-painted signage reading, Moe's Movie Treats. Beside it, dozens of cream-filled pastry boxes are stacked, labeled, Original Stooge Custard Pies. Do not touch. Their cartons remain sealed with yellowing tape. I lift one box lid gingerly and peer inside. The pies look perpetually fresh as though frozen in time. Custard slips from the edges, and the crust still bears the imprint of a face, swipe. I'd heard rumors of Moe's secret stockpile for spontaneous custard skirmishes, but seeing it here, robust cartons waiting for a pie war that will never happen, is nothing short of surreal. A soft click underfoot distracts me. I discover a hidden trapdoor flush with the concrete floor. Heart racing, I lift the door. It hinges upward to reveal a narrow staircase leading into darkness. I flick on my flashlight and descend into a subterranean vault. The air is cooler here, and the beam lands on hundreds of letters in neat rows. Fan mail spanning 4 decades. I pick up an envelope dated July 7, 1941, postmarked from Dayton, Ohio, a young fan begging Moe to visit her school play. Another, from 1962, arrives after the Three Stooges meet Hercules, praising Moe's performance despite some plot holes. Thousands more lie in acrylic cases, each stamped, unread until 2024. Moe clearly gathered these letters, hundreds of thousands, from appreciative viewers. His vault shares one final secret: the man who thwacked, poked, and scorned his fellow Stooges thrived on fan devotion, storing each glowing note in a subterranean shrine. I climb back into the garage's main bay, closing the trapdoor behind me with a shudder. My flashlight retraces those Polaroid maps, the script drafts, the time capsule, the custard pie cache, and the fan mail vault. Each discovery completes the picture of Moe Howard, not just as the tyrannical boss of the Three Stooges, but as a meticulous craftsman, a nostalgic archivist, and a secret sentimentalist. And though the spaces stand silent once more, the echoes of fan laughter, the scent of old custard, and the weight of countless letters linger in that cavernous shrine. Turning from the fan mail vault, I shine my light on the garage's far corner, where a tall glass display cabinet stands like a mausoleum. Behind its dusty panes are rows of miniature Stooge figurines, each one hand, painted and posed in signature 3-man formations. Curly's outstretched arm mid-eye poke, Larry frozen in mid-flip, Moe's squared shoulders brandishing a comical rod. A faded label at the top reads, Moe's prototype molds 1950-55. I lift the cabinet's latch and peer closer. Each base bears a tiny sticker with production dates and studio notes. These aren't mass-market toys, but handcrafted prototypes Moe commissioned to preserve the Stooges' likeness for posterity. Only once did Moe show them at fan conventions. Most stayed hidden here, awaiting a rediscovery. Beside the figurines rests a battered footlocker marked Stooge Gag Collection. I open its heavy lid, revealing a sprawling assortment of practical gag items, a box of miniature rubber chickens, each marked Hen I-1 through Hen 550, a palette of stage paint in Three Stooge approved shades, bright red, neon yellow, and clotted cream white, dozens of tiny whoopee cushions labeled by strip color. Each item carries a scrawled note in Moe's handwriting. Test squeak decibel. Chicken wing, squeak test? Don't use pink on Larry's jacket. These notes confirm Moe's obsessive attention to comedic detail. No squawk, splat, or squeak escaped his authority. Leaning down, I discover a taped-up folder on the floor labeled Moe's Pajama Gag Plans, personal use only. Inside are sketches of new routines Moe never filmed, blueprints for nighttime pranks involving rubber spider webs and drop-down pie rigs rigged to light fixtures. A penciled comment reads, Fred's flannel would soak custard best. It strikes me that Moe continued inventing gags in private after the Stooge shorts wrapped, a man still scheming laughter in his off hours. The folder's edges are frayed, indicating frequent consultation, evidence that his gag bank was endless and endlessly evolving. My flashlight then picks up the glint of metal on a nearby countertop. I step over foam cushion protective mats and find a set of Mont Blanc Meisterstike K pens resting on a velvet tray. Etched on each pen is M. Howard. These were Moe's writing instruments for drafting scripts and personal letters, gleaming reminders of his dual roles as comedian and steward of his own legacy. Next to the pens lies a closed leather portfolio stamped in gold, Stooges Contract Addenda 1961. I unfasten the clasp and find meticulously signed pages amending distribution rights, profit sharing, and photo usage for overseas markets. It's a rare glimpse at how Moe navigated the business side of slapstick, protecting his troops' creative control and financial stake in their mayhem. Facing the garage door, I notice a subtle bulge beneath an oil-stained drop cloth. I lift the cloth to reveal a long, narrow workbench bristling with glass jars filled with preserved materials, Stooge hand ink royal blue, pie-filling sampler vanishing custard, and Mac-up grease slap ouch test. Moe meticulously mixed his own theatrical grease paint and custard formulations to ensure consistency shot after shot. A faded note glued to one jar reads, Do not substitute during Amazon. Moe H. He maintained these secret recipes here to guarantee that every pie conformed to his exact comedic timing and tea-time texture. At last, I approach the corner where a tall mahogany grandfather clock stands, its pendulum silent since the day Moe walked in for one last shave and forgot to wind it. The brass face is engraved with Roman numerals accented by tiny movie camera icons at the 3, 6, 9, and 12 o'clock positions. Opening the clock's steel door, I uncover a hidden compartment containing an old blank checkbook made out to Three Stooges Corporation, with no checks written. It symbolizes Moe's intention to plan future ventures, perhaps a revival or archival tribute that he never realized. Beneath the checkbook lies a folded handkerchief with Curly's signature red S stitched into the corner, a personal gift from Curly himself. Moe must have slipped it into the clock as a keepsake, sealing his promise to preserve their friendship as surely as the Stooge antics themselves. As I step back, the clock's stillness resonates like a final tick of Moe's private metronome, a reminder that time may stop, but laughter never ages. The garage, this once secret laboratory of comedy, holds each revelation like a punchline waiting to land. And though the door now awaits relocking, every comedic prop, handwritten script, and hidden blueprint inside stands testament to the man who earned his place in cinematic history not merely by on-screen mayhem, but by a life dedicated to perfecting the art of laughter. Turning from the glass cabin of prototypes, I retrace my steps to the west wall and discover a makeshift costume nook concealed by heavy canvas drapes. With a gentle tug, the drapes fall away to reveal a row of garment racks laden with flattened garment bags, 20 in total, each bearing a small brass plaque engraved with a year and title. 1925 Ted Healy Vaudeville, 1934 Woman Haters, 1937 Back to the Woods, culminating in 1958 Flying Saucer Daffy. I unzip the first bag and gently pull out a dusty black frock coat with 3 oversized brass buttons set in a vertical row, Moe's signature look from the stage days. The fabric is rough and faded, its lapels frayed from decades of slapstick tumbles. Beneath it, I find Moe's original pocket square, its silk once bright purple, now tarnished to a milky swirl. He must have stuffed it in after a callously timed pie, yet left it here as a silent relic. As I lift more garment bags, I glimpse distressed slacks, striped waistcoats, and 10-gallon hats, each hanger tagged in Moe's spidery handwriting. Larry's hat slightly crushed. Curly's braces tension set to 5 psi. Those tags prove Moe himself catalog every stitch and accessory for posterity. I pause before a rack labeled Unused Classics, where I find a pale blue NASCAR jacket emblazoned with Stooge Speedway Sponsor 1949, a bright polka dot turban from a wartime morale tour, and a flapper-style fringe dress intended for a female Stooge sketch that was never filmed. The last bag reads Vision Sketches March 1948, and inside hangs a pair of oversized gold opera glasses, my hypothetical prop had they staged Stooge at the Opera. Each untested costume whispers of punchlines that never landed on camera. Dreams Moe quietly nurtured in this hidden closet. Above the costumes, a sealed ventilation vent bears a sticky note. A. Don't let drafts ruin reminds. Curious, I unscrew the slats and shine my light inside. Beyond the duct work lies a narrow crawl space filled with stacks of 16 mum film cans, unlabeled except for small colored dots at the rims. I carefully remove one marked with a red dot and heft it out onto the rack. The label reads simply, Outtakes of Plum Crazy 1957. My scanner hums to life as I load a short fragment onto a portable reel viewer. I watch Curly flub an iconic pie chase, belly flopping across the floor while Moe and Larry dissolve into laughter. Then the reel clicks off as abruptly as it started, the film cuffed with Moe's own masking tape scrawl, Take 52 too outlandish. Keep laughter. These unseen outtakes, moments of genuine hilarity unfit for the final cut, reveal Moe's perfectionism. He buried gold here rather than blemish the polished spectacle audiences expected. Wiping film emulsion from my fingertips, I turn back to a heavy oak cabinet whose lock bears a set of tumblers stamped, property of M. Howard. With a discreet click of a skeleton key found on the workbench, I open the cabinet's double doors. Inside, mounted on velvet cushions, are 9 vintage novelty telephones, each emblazoned with Stooge faces and fitted with custom ringtones recorded by Moe himself. Larry's flat note honk, Curly's high-pitched neuk nuke, and 3 variations of Moe's own crotch yelling, Why, I oughta! There's even a special model shaped like a custard pie, its receiver hidden under a whipped cream-molded handset. At the bottom shelf, I find stacks of custom Rolodex cards listing important contacts, directors, stunt coordinators, and, surprisingly, addresses for childhood friends in Brooklyn. Moe clearly used this cabinet as his mobile communications hub, proof that even slapstick royalty needed a Rolodex ruled by whoopee cushion humor. The last corner of the garage houses a small wrought iron safe bolted into the concrete floor. I kneel to reset the combination wheels, memorized from a note I discovered inside his time capsule, and pry open the door. Inside rests a single leather satchel stamped Stooges Properties and Royalties. Peeling back the flap, I find a sheaf of stock certificates for Moe Howard Enterprises, Inc., and Three Stooges Licensing Trust, each listing stock held in escrow for surviving family members and future commemorative ventures. Beneath those documents sits a worn-out slip of manuscript paper, the final script Moe ever touched, an outline titled Stooge Park Theme Ride, complete with mechanical gag descriptions and ride vehicle sketches. He'd planned an amusement park attraction long before anyone dreamed of Moe-driven roller coasters. The satchel contains none of the proposed financing, only Moe's vision for an experience that would unify laughter, motion, and his own immortal slapstick spirit. As the final rays of daylight wane, I survey the treasure's uncovered costumes, prototypes, gag collections, fan letters, scripts, and even theme park blueprints. Moe Howard's garage emerges as his most ambitious creation, a private archive of a comedian's craft, loyalty to fans, and unfulfilled dreams. He froze these artifacts not for show, but for his own reflection, a silent oath that the laughter he sparked would echo far beyond any filmed short. Now that the door must close once more, I let the drapes fall over the costume rack and gently lock the oak cabinets. Yet in every fiber of my being, I know these revelations can't be truly hidden again. Moe's legacy lives not only in the brittle celluloid of our screens, but in this secret sanctuary where slapstick's silent custodian curated his own mortal mirth in immortal detail. As I step back into the dazzling shaft of daylight filtering through the dusty window, I realize I've circled the garage 6 ways, but still haven't uncovered Moe's ultimate secret, the personal journals he locked away in the basement bunker beneath this very floor. With a steady hand, I descend the narrow steel hatch I first spotted in Section 2. The air grows cooler and heavier with every rung of the ladder until I stand before a reinforced steel door stamped, Moe Howard Private. My heart pounds as I punch a code I retrieved from his daypots of prop paychecks. The lock clicks, and I swing the door open to discover a small subterranean office. Its single flickering bulb revealing a wooden desk, a leather captain's chair, and the journals themselves, resting in a neat stack atop a faded red velvet desk blotter. These journals, bound in cracked black leather and secured with tarnished brass latches, are Moe's most personal mementos, handwritten entries spanning from the early 1920s up through his final days in 1975. I opened Journal 4 to a passage dated April 13, 1933, was struck gold today at the Palace Theater. Every slingshot belted like clockwork. But I ache for Curly. His laughter is the roar of our souls. Moe's deceptively neat script captures not just the mechanics of slapstick, but his emotional bond with his fellow stooges. Turning to Journal 7 in 1951, I read, "The world sees the fracas, not the fatigue. Backstage, my shoulders knot. Is laughter worth every ache? Damn right it is." That deadpan line reminds me how Moe strove to hide his sacrifice behind each comedic thwack. In subsequent volumes, Moe chronicles his ructions with studio executives, the joy of improv nights on vaudeville circuits, and the heartbreak of losing colleagues. Journal 10, Moe's final diary, dated October 15, 1975, begins, "Tomorrow I hope to climb on set once more. This mask is too heavy to lay down." It ends mid-sentence, his last words on paper, implying he either fell asleep over his pen or simply could no longer continue. I feel a lump in my throat as I trace his scrawled letters, knowing these diaries represent a lifetime's labor of love and the silent toll exacted by laughter. I replace Journal 10 carefully and turn my attention to the far corner, where Moe's corkboard displays an intricate family tree sketched in colored chalk. Here he mapped out his illustrious Howard lineage, highlighting his birth name Moses Horwitz and charting every sibling and cousin who'd ever joined the Stooge ring. Tacked beside it is a single Polaroid of Moe as a boy, thin, wide-eyed, perched on his father's lap in New York's Lower East Side. In his own voice, scribbled in the corner, "Remember where the smile began." It makes me realize Moe never forgot his roots, even as he perfected the dodge and flourish that made him famous. Beneath that board, I find a lacquered cigar box inlaid with his initials. Inside rest 3 pocket watches, each engraved with a key career milestone. 1927 first stage run, 1934 first film, and 1953 Stooge reunion tour. Moe must have synchronized those watches for timing cues, an engineer's tool disguised as a gentleman's accessory. I wind them gently and notice each still ticks, miraculously well oiled after nearly a century. The steady tick-tock becomes the room's metronome, marking the heartbeat of slapstick's golden years. Before leaving, I fold open a tiny corner of the desk blotter and find Moe's unmailed letter to Columbia Pictures, a 10-page proposal for a final short film titled The Stooges in Space, written in 1975. The premise is audacious. Moe's trio accidentally rocketed onto a eucalyptus-scented moon, turning interstellar exploration into an epic pie fight among the stars. He outlined practical gag sequences: zero-gravity seltzer squirts, outer space seltzer sprays, and endearing moments of friendship. The studio had apparently shelved the idea as too outlandish shortly after his passing. Holding that letter, I feel the bittersweet truth of untapped creativity stashed away in this secret sanctuary. Emerging from the bunker, I secure the steel hatch and flip the light switch off, letting the jewel-toned remnants of Moe's archives retreat into darkness once more. In the main bay, my flashlight picks out the last cocoon of spider webs draped over a vintage Stooge lunchbox, another relic saved for posterity. I pause, absorbing the weight of all I've uncovered: diaries, proposals, props, scripts, and personal artifacts, each piece a testimony to Moe Howard's singular life and the humor that defined it. As I prepare to lock the garage door for the final time, I realize Moe's greatest legacy was this hidden trove, a testament that behind every head, bonk, and eye, lay meticulous craftsmanship, unwavering loyalty, and a heart that never tired of making us laugh. And though sliding the door closed marks the end of my journey through Moe's world, it also signals the beginning of a new chapter. One in which this secret trove will finally see the light of day, preserving not just history but the very soul of slapstick comedy for generations to come. As the last sliver of sunlight slips beneath the garage door, I stand at the threshold, breathing in the dusty air thick with untold histories. Behind me lie Moe Howard's hidden worlds, the scripts that charted every poke and pratfall, the vault of fan letters that bore witness to unbridled laughter, the prototype figurines that solidified his slapstick legacy, and the subterranean diaries that spoke of his deepest hopes and regrets. Now, for the first time in decades, all of these treasures will emerge from shadow. Today, a team of archivists and Stooge scholars will catalog Moe's entire collection. Every reel, every script, every annotated gag plan. They'll digitize the film outtakes and preserve his voice, memoranda as audio archives. Costume conservators will stabilize the vintage suits and props, while historians will translate his notebooks and diaries for publication in the definitive Moe Howard biography. What once rested under layers of cobwebs and steel doors will become the beating heart of a new Stooge Center museum, right where the garage now stands, a living tribute to comedy's unsung artisan. To honor the scale of this undertaking, the doors will reopen in the spring for a one-week public exhibition, Moe's Slapstick Sanctuary. Visitors will stroll beneath restored marquee lights, witnessing every facet of Moe's creative laboratory. They'll hear Moe's heartbeat in the hushed flicker of film reels, feel his frenetic energy in the vibrations of the vintage popcorn cart, and marvel at the intimacy of his original handwritten scripts. Interactive displays will allow guests to test carved rubberfish squawks and program digital whoopee cushions in Moe's signature sound codes. Through augmented reality goggles, they'll step into the Stooges' world, navigating a virtual study where Moe tweaked every gag in real time. But beyond the spectacle, the museum will spotlight Moe's most profound lesson. That laughter is equal parts craft and camaraderie. In the underground vault, they'll preserve Moe's final letter on Stooge Park Theme Ride, celebrating creative ambition that lived beyond his lifetime. In the costume nook, they'll highlight his meticulous curation of outfits, reminding us that comedy thrives on visual contrast, ragged linen and bright brass. In the diaries, they'll showcase his unwavering devotion to his brothers, how every pratfall stemmed from a brother-in-arms trust. And in glass cases, they'll place the rusted toolbox and workbench notes, attesting that no amount of fame eclipsed his love for the backroom jokes that powered every film take. When the Garage Museum becomes permanent, its adjacent stage, once Moe's rehearsal floor, will host a weekly slapstick symposium. Comedians, scholars, and film technicians will gather to dissect Moe's gags, analyzing the geometry of an eye poke or the timing of a pie squeeze. Students will learn stage brawl one-on-one, practicing the perfect 6 o'clock whip under veteran stunt coaches who once doubled for Moe himself. Virtual reality booths will let visitors test a greased banana peel on a digital Moe, learning that even the humblest gag hides the razor-sharp science of comedy. For the Osmond Foundation, which has sponsored the project, this museum marks a new chapter in preserving entertainment heritage. We have pledged to fund apprenticeships for up-and-coming filmmakers and comedians to study Moe's methods firsthand, because reinvention demands devotion as unyielding as Moe's. Here, they'll learn that every slap, every poke, every trip through the rolling hatch leads to a heartbeat of joy that connects performer and audience across time. And what of our own reflections? As I lock the door behind the finishing touches of the museum, I carry with me Moe's final plea from Journal Hun I. Laughter is the forge where pain becomes joy. In that subterranean office years ago, Moe asked himself and me to trust the alchemy of absurdity. Today, his hidden garage yields a richer truth that every carefully crafted gag, every hidden prop, and every heartfelt journal reveals the depth of a man who risked his bones to make us laugh. When the museum opens, it will stand not just as a cupboard of curiosities, but as a testament to Moe Howard's unquenchable spirit. Parents will take their children past the restored Stooge lunches and into the grand tunnel of outtakes, teaching them that art blossoms from both rehearsed precision and joyful missteps. Scholars will pore over Moe's earliest vaudeville sketches, tracing how a Brooklyn boy shaped an American comedic icon. And fans, those who grew up with Curly's Yelp and Larry's Wobble, will stand in quiet awe of the hidden sanctuary that fueled every roar of laughter. So, as I leave the garage one final time, I carry with me the tender knowledge that Moe's greatest secrets are no longer buried beneath steel doors. They have come to light, ready to inspire a new generation to create, to question, and above all, to laugh. And if you ever step inside the exhibition halls, admire Moe's polished bowler, test the squeak of his rubber fish, read his unedited words, you will feel the pulse of his legacy. A timeless reminder that even the smallest pratfall can break down walls and bring us closer together. For Moe Howard's garage finally opens to the world, and what was once hidden will now speak volumes in tinselled glances, hollow laughter, and the enduring promise of joy.